Well, Megan and Michael, I'm an extremely ambitious person. I'm always looking to improve in my practice and in my career, and one day I aim to be a minister. I think I can get there. So this is one step in that process, in that movement up the hierarchy, if you like. Other than my ambition, though, I have a passionate desire to see the educational outcomes improve in this country. I'm very concerned that our PISA results are not very good, or our TIMS results either. I'm worried that our students are falling behind of those students in other countries. I'm aware of Vision 2030 and that it sets out ambitious goals for our country to be less reliant on oil for revenue, because countries are not going to need that for very much longer. I know that we need to lower our rate of employment from 11.6% to 7%, because human capital is a crucial factor in the success of our project, the project of nurturing our human talent. Therefore, with all those things in mind, I believe I'm the right person with my talents, my ambition, my understanding of Vision 2030, my passionate desire about education, my passionate belief in our human capabilities. I'm the right person to help develop our human potential within this program.
Thank you, Joe. What do you see as the strengths and challenges facing Saudi education?
I believe that there is one fundamental challenge, and perhaps a weakness if you like, in the Saudi education program. That's its emphasis on the rote learning of facts. Saudi teachers, myself included, are too bound by textbook learning. We emphasise the remembering of facts, figures, names, dates in textbooks. So our children are learning to remember, but not to think, which is really important. Our students, the students of Saudi Arabia, must learn more about 21st century capabilities or competencies. They need to learn how to collaborate, how to think critically, how to think creatively, and how to communicate their ideas to their peers, their colleagues, and the world around us.
CBE is conceptually challenging. What evidence do you have for us to demonstrate that you have the capacity to successfully complete this program?
Well, first of all, I have a higher diploma in education. So not only do I have a bachelor's degree, but I went on and did further study. In this higher degree, I had to grapple with some very difficult conceptual ideas around, for example, philosophy of education, zone of proximal development, ideas around what competency versus content means. So I was able to grapple with those in my higher degree. While I was doing this, I read lots of books, I talked to people, I asked questions, I wrote a lot. I accepted criticisms of my work, which I'm always prepared to do, in the aim of always improving my skills. Having been through this process, I know that I can think critically and creatively, write well and express myself with clarity. I can put theory into practice. I'm also capable of critically reflecting on progress and seeking criticism from others to improve my understanding of these difficult concepts.
How have you demonstrated initiative and innovation in your current role?
Well, I heard about these things called rubrics some time ago, so I thought I'd give them a go. So in my role, I've used rubrics to assess my students' learning. I just heard it was a good idea and I'd try it out. I believed that students' work would improve by giving them clear criteria that showed them where they were and where they needed to go next. So in that sense, I learnt all about using students' zone of actual development from which to develop their zone of proximal development and give them a set of rubrics with which to improve their learning.
Tell us about your professional development you have undertaken.
Well, I've taken quite a lot over this time. First of all, I've got my bachelor degree. I've then went and got a higher degree. I've done PD around developmental assessment, differentiation, formative assessment, restorative student management practices, inquiry-based learning, dialogical teaching, and student-centred learning and elective programming. So I've done plenty of professional development.
What do you know about CBE?
Well, I looked it up on the internet when I heard about this job, and I understand the basic ideas around it. I understand that it has or sits on the educational belief that competency rather than content should be taught to students, and I mentioned that a little bit earlier on. I understand that it believes that learning occurs along a progression. It doesn't always occur along the exact same progression, but we can develop typical progressions along which student develops. And I know that CBE uses rubrics for both formative and summative assessment. And as I've told you, I've used rubrics in my own practice.
How have you collaborated with others to achieve educational goals?
I thought about this question. This is my best example. In my previous experience as a primary school teacher, I was a year level coordinator of the school. My responsibilities were to make sure discipline of the students was orderly, that learning standards were adhered to, and that my budget was always balanced. In my role as that year level coordinator, I expected my teachers to do as I instructed without discussion as soon as I asked them to do it. In my experience, this is how you maintain order and achieve the best for students, by maintaining strict control around what teachers beneath me do, say and think.
How would others describe your work ethic?
Well, I'm a very busy person. In a typical day, I would do these things: answer emails, assess student work, read a journal article, write a 500-word reflection on that journal article, check on my teaching materials, attend all meetings on time, meet with students and teachers beneath me if need to be. I always make sure I visit a teacher in his classroom at least once a day, and while all this is going on, I also have time, well, I had time to complete my higher degree. So I'm a very, very busy person. To summarise, I am organised, I'm up to date in developing my knowledge, I work really long hours, and I can do any number of jobs from teacher to administrator to student to academic. And I can do all these in just one day.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
We'll be in touch.
Thank you very much for your time.